Hi Master, and I'm going to be showing you how I built this drawer system in the back of my 2010 Jeep Wrangler Sahara. It also functions as a cooking area, and it slides out into a full 6-length sleeping area. So yeah, I'm going to go give a little walkthrough of what I keep in here and how it all works, how I convert it to be able to sleep on it at the end of the night. And later in the video, I'll be showing the materials I used and what all went into making it, and a cost breakdown at the end. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Okay, so I'd like to start off by kind of just saying that I don't have any experience building anything or really painting or carpeting anything for that matter. So yeah, this seemed a bit intimidating at first, but it's really not as bad once you start getting going. So I definitely recommend this build for really anyone, and anyone can do it. So before I get into actually how I built it, I'd like to just give a walkthrough of the actual drawer system itself and what I keep in it. So yeah, I'm just gonna give a rundown real quick, and then I'm gonna show you how I actually fold it out into a bed and how I sleep on it. So to start off, in this left drawer here, I just keep my dual burner Coleman stove. I'd recommend this stove for anyone looking into getting a dual burner stove. I think it was like $50 off. $50 from Academy, but it works pretty good, and I don't have any issues with it. So behind the stove, I keep the propane tanks for it, and I just keep the lighter for it right here. And then one of my favorite parts about this whole build is actually this false top I built. It doubles as a cutting board and also just some extra cooking table space, kind of. So I'll typically just put the stove on top of here whenever I'm cooking, and it gives me a lot of room to work with. Under here, I keep a lot of my other like miscellaneous kind of cooking stuff and just things I don't really use as often that can kind of be like out of the way. I just keep like some soaps in there, olive oil, sponges, forks, trash bags, stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty easy to just put back down in there, and I have a rubber mat on top so the stove doesn't move around a lot whenever I'm driving. And this rubber mat here I just had laying around. I cut it out to fit in between this grill area and the actual stove itself. One of the main issues with the stove, it makes a lot of noise when you're driving around and when you're moving it. So yeah, I just put this here so it doesn't like really make as much noise. It still makes a little bit of noise, but it's way less than how it was before. So this other drawer here, I keep just like some mountain bike stuff at the moment because when I'm not camping, I just keep mountain bike stuff and camera stuff, and when I'm camping, this will be full of food. It's like a little pantry pretty much. And then up here, I keep some towels, some power banks, just miscellaneous things. I keep some lights in here, bug spray, wipes, things that are like more easy to access. And then here in the back, I have some raw noodles right now, but I keep my like backpacking stove, some paper towels, some pots and some pans, just pretty much some other cooking stuff, some stuff to wash the dishes, and that's pretty much it for the drawers. I have these little dividers that I built. They're not being held in by anything, no glue or screws or anything. I just kind of cut them to fit perfectly in here. They're wedged in, but I made them like that so I can kind of take them out whenever I want, and it's just easier to work with, and I don't have to be limited on the space. If I need to fit something bigger in here, I can take them out and have a lot longer of an area to fit something. So moving on to how I actually keep this whole system in place, I use these metal turnbuckles that I got off Amazon. I have one on this side and one on the other side over here. These are the only two I have, and they work pretty good for me so far. When the tailgate's closed and the seats are up, it already holds the whole thing in place pretty well. But these are just kind of an extra precaution so it doesn't go flying around if the seats are down or something. But yeah, I have these to hold them in, and I just attached a mount, and then I just used the factory mounts that came in the Jeep itself. And then I have these wooden slots that extrude from the drawer box. I have some here, and then in the middle, and then on the other end, I also have some. It's just for this actual panel to rest on top of. Yeah, so let me set this up and show you how it works. So I start by taking this bolt that I got from Home Depot. It was the strongest one I could find. And I just lift this seat up a little bit, put that in there, and then I take this extra center support that I built. It just sits in here, and then this slides out, and it just rests on top. So yeah, that's it. And I built it so it can rest up here on top of the actual seat when it's folded down. I wanted to do it like this because I've seen a lot of people who've taken out their seats completely, and I still have passengers that sit back here every once in a while, so I don't want to remove the seats fully. So I thought this was an easy option to have extra support for this without having to remove the seats and have legs for it. So it's worked good for me so far. It's slightly taller than the actual boxes, so there's a slight slant here when I'm sleeping on it, but it's nothing noticeable, to be honest. Especially when I have a sleeping pad or a mattress on here, it's not noticeable when you're sleeping. So yeah, it's worked good for me so far, and I still have space underneath here if I want to like store things under here. So I do have space, and then I do the same on the other end. But it's worked so far pretty well. And of course, if I wanted to later on remove this seat, I would have a whole lot more space to work with, and I could make some holes for it to hold it up. But at the moment, I definitely recommend doing it like this and giving it a try like this. I haven't seen really anyone else on YouTube showing a build using the actual like rear seats to hold it up. So I thought that worked out good. And then one of my other favorite parts about this, I have this sort of secret compartment under here. I typically just store like my sleeping bag and pillow and stuff like that under here just to get it out of the way, declutter the actual trunk space. But I built this to work around the speaker over here. I didn't want to remove the speaker. I saw some people remove the speaker, but I didn't want to go through that trouble and remove it. So I just built around it, and I also wanted to have this extra space here, just more like shoulder space to sleep on. So yeah, I just kind of worked around it, and I used cardboard to trace it out, and then just cut it out. And I did the same on the other side over there. So let me walk around and show you that. So for this end, it works the same. I also had cut out over here to work around the body of the Jeep, just a little extra, width, and it just looks a little cleaner. And yeah, I have a little compartment under here too. Can't really fit much in here. It's probably like a couple inches of space, but it's still nice to have. And then the other end works the exact same way. I'm gonna set it up, and then you can see it fully set up. So with this side here, you don't have to set down this part or this part to sleep on either or. Typically what I'll do is I'll just put down this seat and leave this one up and only sleep in this area. But if there's two people, or you just want the extra space, I'll put down this seat, and then you have this whole area to sleep on. Another thing, I do put the front seats up and as all the way up as I can, and I just push them forward a bit, just so there's extra space. And then for this one, I mean, you could do the same on this side. You can kind of just lodge it in between the headrest and the board down here, the actual system itself. But if you want the extra headspace, it's definitely nice just putting your pillow down on top of the headrest and then having this whole area to lay on. That's typically how I use it at night. So I'm really happy with how this build came out. I'd keep it in here full time, and it's really nice still having the space all up here and still having the seats. And then typically I'll have like a cooler up here and a water tank here, and kind of leave this area just for bags, miscellaneous stuff, so it's easy to flip out when it's time to set up at night. I would definitely recommend a build like this for anyone that has a family or just enjoys having their back seats still without having to remove them, because it is very versatile, being able to keep this all in and not really take up much space, having these extra panels here, and not have to worry about anything flipping up or having a whole separate thing having to bring in to be able to lay all the way flat on. So yeah, I'd recommend something like this, and I hope this does give some inspiration for your builds. I watched lots of videos, and yeah, I just decided with this one. One other thing about these drawers that I just remembered, I don't use any drawer slides, so I wanted to save space first of all, because drawer slides take up probably about an inch on each end. So I wanted to save space and as well save weight and the actual cost, because I did this all on a bit of a budget. As well, if anyone has any questions about anything, feel free to leave a comment about it and I'll try to respond. It can be pretty intimidating. I was definitely intimidated at the start, but it's well worth it. And I think the whole thing took me probably around a week and a half, 2 weeks to build, which is a little long, but it was my first time doing anything like this, and I was trying to be as precise as I could, and I really wanted it to turn out great, and I think it did. Okay, so the rest of the video is just going to be going through the materials I used and the tools I used real quick, and yeah, so let's get into that. So I originally started off just using the website SketchUp to quickly design like a 3D model. As you can see, it's a little different than how it turned out, but it gave me a good idea of some like the key elements that I wanted and kind of how to go about it. I knew I wanted the flip up, so in the original design I had hinges on there, but then I soon realized that it wouldn't work when I actually like started building it. So that's why I decided not to use hinges, but I definitely recommend using SketchUp. It's a free software, and it's just a website. If you just look up SketchUp, it's pretty easy to use, and there's tons of videos. This was the first thing I ever designed in it, and it probably took me like no longer than 30 minutes to do, and I'd highly recommend it if you're thinking to do something like this. So exactly how I made everything. So I'm just gonna go step by step, starting from when I got the wood. I picked up I believe it was 3 sheets of 4 feet by 8 feet. They I can't tell you the exact wood I got, but I do know it was 2 sheets of 1/2 inch and 1 sheet of 3/4 inch plywood. I used 3/4 inch plywood for the main like base, for the top part and the core supports in the middle and the sides, and then I used for the actual drawers I used 1/2 inch. Also, I'd recommend just buying 2 sheets of plywood. I ended up having a lot left over, so I don't think 3 sheets is needed if you're doing this exact build. I had to learn how to cut everything and how to make the measurements, since I've never worked with woodwork tools or anything like that. I used a circular saw for most of the cuts, For just like the straight cuts, I used a circular saw, and then I used a jigsaw for the cuts that were more precise. So for the cuts that went around the actual base of the Jeep and around the speaker, I used a jigsaw, and then yeah, everything else was just a circular saw. I used pocket holes and just some wood glue. The wood glue, it helps out, but I don't think it's needed necessarily. If you're gonna be having a lot of weight and stuff, then it's worth putting on there if you have the time to do that. But I don't think it's needed at all. And then from there, I kind of just started making the actual base. And then I started working on the drawers, which I didn't take much pictures or videos of that part, but the drawers did take a little bit of time. You definitely have to make sure you get those measurements right, especially if you end up using drawer slides. Those measurements need to be pretty exact. That's another reason why I didn't really want to use drawer slides, because I knew I probably might mess up a couple things, and I know it has to be really precise when you use drawer slides. From there, after I made the drawers, I started painting everything. So even underneath the carpet, all that's painted as well. So I just used all-weather paint. I just got it from Home Depot, and I'd recommend it. It's waterproof. I wanted to do something waterproof, just in case if something spills or if anything happens. Just kind of the peace of mind knowing that the wood's not going to get ruined. So yeah, from there I just painted the faces of the drawers, and I also painted the bottom of the drawers in the same black waterproof paint. And then I also stained the sides and the insides of the drawers. That was also using all-weather, like water-resistant, waterproof paint, or finish, I should say. From there, I just carpeted the top and the sides of the full system itself. I used a staple gun or a nail gun to hold the actual carpet in place. Along with that, though, I also used 3M heavy duty spray adhesive. So the spray adhesive works really well, but it's worth also using a nail gun for around the edges and the corners, just to be safe and make sure it doesn't start peeling up after a while. Yeah, at that same time, I also installed the hooks on the back for the just to hold it in place. I also created the edges on the side for the panels to sit on against whenever they're set up to sleep on. As well, when I was working on the drawers, I just used like a 1/2 inch circular drill bit just to make little grab handles in the drawers. I was thinking to use regular handles for it, but I decided against it because there wasn't much space in when the tailgate was closed. There wasn't space for any more room for anything, so I just decided to go with drilling out holes, and it worked out pretty well. So from there, I used some cardboard to create outlines or like a template for the panels. So I had to do this a few times just to get the exact measurements and outline. You have to be pretty exact for this. I mean, you don't have to if you don't care to have the extra width and for your shoulders when you're sleeping. I wouldn't recommend probably spending the extra time making the template and cutting that all out around the body, but I do think it looks a lot nicer and clean. So there's that. But I for the outline, I used a pencil with a washer around it, and then just kind of traced around the body, and then made cuts in the cardboard as I went, and then just traced that onto the plywood, and then you cut that out with the jigsaw. So from there, I just did the same on the other panel, and then that was pretty much it. I just did some little touch-ups with the paint here and there, in a few areas, but that was it for the most part, and it turned out pretty well. And I would definitely recommend it for anyone thinking to do something like this. Okay, so the total cost breakdown that this all came out to was a total of $248. This isn't including taxes or the tools that I had to buy to use, but this is just a list of everything. Feel free to look at it all. I got most of the stuff off of Amazon, aside from like aside from some of the plywood, and then some other glue and stuff. I got all the other stuff from Home Depot. And then this is just a price of all the tools. All the tools here, all of them I got from Amazon, and they were all relatively cheap. So that's the end of the video. I hope this gave you some good inspiration, and I'd highly recommend building something out like this. It was pretty fun, and I learned a lot, and it was pretty cost efficient as well. I didn't spend as much as I saw a lot of people were spending on their builds, so I would highly recommend this, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions about anything. Thank you.